Bible Scholars, happy Friday. Welcome back to Oops, It's a Bible Channel. I'm just your fellow student, Leah Nicole, and today is part 5 of a 5-part series, my 5-part Eden series. So if this is where you're coming in, go ahead and start here at the beginning and work your way through. Each one is like part 1, part 2, part 3, whatever, So over the course of the series, we've talked about how Eden was made and what it represents, which is perfect unity with God, full, complete abundance, and perfection at its peak. We talked about how Eden broke, sadly. Then we talked about Israel. And then we talked about the opposite of Eden, the wilderness. And last week, I told you that today we're going to talk about the amazing conclusion of the story of Eden. So, without further ado, let's dive on in and talk about what the fulfillment of Eden is. Now, if there's a fulfillment in Eden, then there's also fulfillment of Adam and Eve, right? So, we're actually going to start with the fulfillment of Adam, which, if you've read 1 Corinthians or Romans, you'll know is Jesus. Jesus is the fulfillment of Adam. Now, let's talk about it. Jesus came and fulfilled the law and the prophets, which the law and the prophets was kind of slang for what we now call the Old Testament, and that includes Adam. So, the way that the Bible tells it is that the same way that sin and destruction came through one man, forgiveness came through one man. Sin and destruction came through Adam, and the forgiveness of the whole world came through Jesus Christ. And through these two passages, you see how Jesus is the fulfillment of Adam, but also kind of the opposite in a way. He's kind of like a new Adam, but opposite in the way that where Adam messed up, Jesus fixed it. Church is described as the bridegroom of Christ, and so in a way, we are Eve. We fall for sin, and we are supposed to be under the leadership of Jesus. So, in a way, the church, meaning all believers, are in a way kind of Eve. Now, I was talking about the fulfillment of Eden. Now, obviously, we don't see any perfect places here today in the world, but in the future, we can find through Revelation that there is going to be a place where things are perfect and where there's full and total abundance and where God is physically there again. There's even a direct tie back to Genesis in Revelation, which I'll get into in a minute. But first, we're going to talk about the fulfillment of Eden, which is the new heaven, the new earth, and specifically the new Jerusalem. Now, those three are all described right next to each other, so it seems like you're kind of supposed to think of them all together in conjunction with each other. So if I accidentally blend descriptions, I'm sorry. That just they all kind of blended together in my mind. But throughout that whole description is beautiful and abundant and joyous, and it's just amazing. Kind of like we see with the description of Eden being perfect and abundant and beautiful. It's a little bit different than the Garden of Eden because they describe things like roads made of gold and precious jewels covering the gates to this place. Whereas in Eden, it's all plants and animals. There's not really much in the way of like gates and roads, but it's still a perfect, beautiful place. I made the point that God's glory shone like the sun in the future in Revelations in that perfect place, so why couldn't it be in Genesis? And so this is how we know that God is there, God's dwelling there. It's also pretty much stated explicitly right here, which is the fulfillment of perfect unity and oneness with God. And it talks about there being a river through it, which kind of reflects the river that runs through Eden. It's split into those 4 rivers. There's also no more like toiling or suffering for food. So they don't have to work to grow food anymore. At least it's not as difficult. It's not going to be suffering work. And the direct tie that I was hinting at a little bit ago is it explicitly talks about the tree of life being there like it was in the Garden of Eden. And it says it produces fruit year round. There's not seasons anymore. It just is always producing. And so that's, again, the theme of abundance. All this, of course, happens in the future. I'm not going to get into a huge thing about Revelation and all of that. I'm just talking about how this fulfills Eden. This is exactly what Eden was supposed to be. Specifically, a lot of this draws from the New Jerusalem, but again, it all kind of seems to tie together. So that is something awesome to look forward to. Obviously, we don't know when, but at some point, there's going to be a fulfillment of what Eden was supposed to be, and hopefully, we'll get to be there. Jesus brought forgiveness to the whole world by suffering on the cross and being sacrificed for all of us, so that we don't have to face the punishment of our sin anymore if we just accept his gift and believe in him and trust him. Now, if you want to know more about that specifically, I have a video about it right here. If you enjoyed this video and you liked this series, obviously this is the last video of the series, so I'm going to put it on the playlist soon. But if you liked it, go ahead and click like so that I know you liked it and so that I can do more things like this. If you want to see more of my videos and you want to stay up to date, go ahead and click subscribe and the notification bell. That way you can know immediately when videos come out, just in case I decide to post outside of my normal Friday. If you know someone who would enjoy the series, when the playlist comes out, go ahead and share it with them. That way they can see it, because doing my research for the series, I learned a lot of cool new things. If you have a question you'd like me to answer, or a Bible passage you'd like me to dissect and maybe explain a little bit, or if there's a topic you'd like me to discuss, go ahead and comment that so that I can see that. Alright, that's it for today. God bless you all. I will see you next week. Read your Bibles.